Well, great. Now that you've watched video number 1 and learned about the inspection options, the pricing incentives, and why the income opportunities are here for you, I'll tell you about the specifics of application and the vetting process for experts in our database. I'm excited you're here. The 3-point overview is this. 1, what a typical pre-purchase inspection process will entail for you. 2, what you need to upload and apply online on our application. And 3, the basic skills and some tools you'll need to do the job. So number 1, what does an inspection entail? Well, the entire process starts when the prospective client, a buyer, contacts you. You ask them if they're looking for a full inspection or a specialized inspection. But details like this should be stated in your bio, which will be online, and if you provide both levels of inspection or just certain specialized areas. So either way, you talk with them, you set the appointment and get the seller's contact info, because that's where you have to go, where the item is, with the seller. So you confirm the appointment with the seller and go to inspect the item for sale. You take photos and notes. The notes are of observations of the item, and you return home, and you put those notes and the photos into the inspection form, email them to the client, and you're done. That's what you get paid to do. You go out, you observe, record, send an email of those observations and records, meaning photographs, and that's it. So while your honesty, your courteousness, and your attention to detail are expected, that's just an understood, your promptness is most critical because the client, the buyer, typically has a very small window of opportunity to make this purchase. So turnaround time is that must be agreed upon upfront and adhered to. So you'll set your own prices for inspections based on your market and the travel distance that you're willing to go. But there is a typical range of prices that are expected. So whatever your policies and prices are, make them clear up front. You're certainly entitled to a reasonable cancellation fee for appointments that are no-shows. So like when you've driven to a seller's location or if someone cancels on you the day of the appointment. You're entitled to that, but make that clear up front. No surprises, okay? So remember, because you will be rated in a review system, an internal review system, based on customers' experiences with you. Now this rating system is great, but it is a big factor in receiving leads down the road. So the better you are, the more calls you're going to get, obviously. But we will have an internal review process of our own for any questionable or blatantly false reviews that someone posts on your system. So they can be removed when they're verified as false. So don't worry about these external review systems where people post bad things and you can never get them off. We will look into those if there is some abuse from others like that. So you don't have to worry about that because this review system internal is important to your success. So it also means you better be good at what you're doing. So part 2 is what you need to upload in our online application, right? So we will require the following 2 written documents from any prospective pre-purchase experts, applicants, as well as any other uploads that you think are relevant to your qualification. First one is a short but thorough biography of your experience, your education, any certifications related to your specialty. In other words, if you're a boat person, upload those. Cars, trucks, motorcycles, heavy equipment, RVs, horses, houses, airplanes, whichever category you're in, upload only the items that are relevant to that. The preferred layout is a few lines introducing yourself, your location, what specialty you're experienced in and willing to provide your service in, and then followed by a bullet point list of your experience, in other words, your certifications, your education, or your background. Maybe you owned a ranch, you own your own shop, etc., whatever it is. So all this will be in writing too, so you don't have to memorize it, or you can just review this video. But this is what you need to put in the first written document. This bio will be the one that customers will read about you when they look to hire you. So check your grammar, your attention to detail, and be friendly. You will most definitely be judged by that. And it'd be a shame to have a very qualified inspector get passed over by the public because they might be turned off by a sparse or a crudely written greeting. So this thing we're asking for you, this first document, is for us to review, but it's also the one that the public's going to be reviewing you when they go to hire you. So that's important. The second document is a letter to pre-purchase investigators telling us why we should add you to our list of qualified investigators. This is a 500 words maximum letter, or you can do a quick 2-minute video if you prefer to give us that. Either way, it's short, but this requirement is meant to demonstrate your ability to communicate clearly and concisely with the customer, as that quality is going to be paramount to your success. Remember, while we aren't taking a percentage of the fee that you will get, and although you are not an employee, we are very concerned with the recommendations that we're putting forth as a resource to help an underserved public when it comes to buying these big investments that you're going to be looking at. We only want the most qualified, thorough, responsible, and reliable people on our list. So this is very important to show that you are just that you are a qualified expert. In some regions, the competition might be very stiff in a specific category of inspectors. Standing out will be important. While we don't wish to limit the options for the customers, the best way to rate inspectors over time will be through a rating system based on the reviews and survey feedback from customers. The better you are in the customer's eyes, the more calls you'll get. So when you apply online on our website, you will need a valid credit card, but the annual fee will not be charged unless you are approved after the review process of your submitted application. Your credit card will show the charges pending, but again, it will not be charged unless your application is approved. You'll get an email back first saying your application it's in review, and we'll review it quickly. And as soon as we review it, you'll get another email that says, congratulations, you're approved, or sorry, you're rejected. If you're approved, move forward and create your online information and your bio, put everything in place, make it look great, and you'll be charged your annual fee then. And if you are rejected, you're welcome to contact us and see if there's questions that can be answered and clarified. Maybe there wasn't enough information, and we can get you back in or in at a future time. So the third issue to talk about here is the minimum tools and certain physical requirements that you need to perform the job. Now look, you've been doing this job for years. You know the physical requirements and you know the tools. So I don't have to tell you all the specifics for every category. But obviously you'll need to be able to bend, to lift, to climb up into a machine, or to ride a horse, to look under a car. These are the minimums. And as far as the tools, most of the tools are related to automotive, and whether it's the marine, aircraft, or any vehicle, RVs, trucks, any of them, motorcycles, things like an IR gun, an infrared temperature gun to check certain temperatures before and after you're test driving. Flashlights, obviously, maybe even big lights for work beams under hoods or inside, in a hull or in dark areas. Seat covers, antifreeze tester, a pad to lay down on to look underneath, a jack, because you're not going to get the cars up on lifts most of the time, but you should be able to jack them up on the ground where they are, in someone's driveway, wherever, in a garage perhaps. But you need to have a jack with you and something to lay on that's comfortable, and just expect to have to do that now and then to get a good look at the undercarriage and so on. There's one important thing, and that's the analyzer. So for any vehicle you're looking at with an OBD2 plug-in, don't go with the cheap sensor, have a good sensor. So have a good analyzer, that's important. That's very critical to catch codes that may not show up on the small, cheap code analyzers. Those are the minimums. We can talk about that. And again, these are things that you're going to put on your BIOS. Here's what I have. This is when I come out, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to use to test your car. This is what I'm going to look at. Those are important, again, selling points for you, because you're talking to the public at all times, in your bio and when they call you. Our job is to get you the leads and get you the work and put you out here. We spend the money doing all of that. Your job is to be good at what you do. And that's good at the actual job and good at dealing with the customers. You do your end and you're going to be making money. We're going to do our end and bring you the leads.